Hello.
Hello. Oh, good morning, early bird. How are you?
I'm sleepy.
Well, let's keep this mercifully brief.
This is a podcast in which two friends talk about the pleasures, absurdities, and imperfections of being human. I'm Simon Ellis.
And I'm Lee Miller. Welcome to Midlifing.
It's the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Do I sound upside down?
Well, you sound upside down, but you need to tell everybody where you are and what you're doing.
I am sitting at the end of my bed in a very slightly uncomfortable position, leaning towards a microphone, etc. And I'm in a town called Auckland, which is New Zealand's biggest, or as they say here, biggest city.
And what's taking you to Auckland, Simon Kennedy Ellis?
Jet lag. No, that's the other way around. I'm here in Nova Zelanda. I'm here in New Zealand, Aotearoa. I'm here for about 3 weeks for some family stuff, basically.
Wow,
Yeah.
how lovely to hear from you from the other side of the world.
Thank you. It's lovely to hear your voice from the other side of the world. It's a long way.
Yeah, how was the flight?
It was long. Just
Did you sleep?
Just 6 hours to Dubai and then 16 hours to Auckland.
Shitting heck. Dubai to Auckland.
Yeah, in one go.
In one go. Oh,
In one
wow.
fell swoop.
Jiminy Cricket. So, do you stop in Dubai to have a little bit of petrol, or what happens? Tell me.
Yeah, good. There isn't a way to get here directly. It's too far. So a little bit of petrol. In fact, what happens is because Dubai's, there are various. Singapore's one, but it's where you I guess, catch up with a whole lot of people who've flown in from different places, and then you all end up on the same flight.
Right, so
Or
they were like
people-
waiting for the other folk.
Curiously, yes, all people going to New Zealand.
Well, that would make sense if you were on a flight to New Zealand.
But yeah, it's I think the thing to say, Lee Miller, is, and of course it's a different season here, which is nice.
Yeah.
The thing to say, which I think is interesting by the way, I am pretty. I've just, because I woke up at 2 and then took 3 and took a sleeping tablet, so it still hasn't quite worn off yet.
You poor sausage.
But the thing to say, which I find both completely shocking and totally unsurprising, is that I really understand people here in a way that I realise that I don't when I'm in other places.
Oh, so as in there is a cultural ease, or
Totally.
I presume that's what you mean.
Yeah, totally. And it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming in terms of how, I mean, it's a little bit because I'm sleepy a lot, but it's also just how relaxing it is to understand all of the kind of cultural nuances of language, of bodies, of faces, and for all the variations that happen here, of course. But yeah, it's I know this. It's like being super at ease in your body around people.
So is this an Antipodean thing, or is it a New Zealand thing?
Definitely a New Zealand thing. It's very
Right.
similar in Australia, very similar, but
But not the same.
not the same.
So in terms of gradations of alienness, so either where you feel that you are working with aliens or where you feel that you are the most alien, does it go?
Big shout out to my colleagues, my alien colleagues.
Does it go New Zealand, Australia, UK, Italy, or does it not go in that order? Is the UK the most alien? I'm curious.
Yeah, so if I threw the United States into that mix, where I haven't spent,
yes, please.
Just because I've lived there. Not, I mean, the longest I've spent there was, I think 4 months. I had 2 4 months stints in the United States.
Yeah, and that's more than a holiday. I think when you get past a
Yeah.
month, you can say that I lived there, even if it was only I lived there for a short while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was definitely. I mean, the first one was anyway. And I think your order is pretty much spot on.
Interesting.
Where America fits in there is the most discombobulated.
Oh, so it would go Italy, US.
Exactly. The only thing about
Interesting.
Britain and Italy, which is where it doesn't quite make sense, is that linguistically, of course, in the UK, I'm much more kind of all that's going on, but sort of in your body or corporeally or this sort of sense of ease in your body, Italy is easier than the UK.
Right. Yeah, it
So
doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
Go on.
No, I was going to say because you did spend quite a lot of time in London, which I think is corporeally a difficult. Let me rephrase that. It's a different place to navigate than probably nearly anywhere else in the UK in terms of proxemics, in terms of speed, in terms of expectations of where people get out of your way or don't get out of your way.
It's quite confronting, isn't it? And also quite pleasurable in some ways. It's
for an afternoon.
Yeah.
I couldn't live there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, for so many reasons I couldn't live there. I find the energy I just find it exhausting. And because it makes me makes me work
toes,
so hard. Yeah, and then I get I get quite performative in London, where I really work hard to meet people and to be with people and to witness them and to ensure that they see me, and it's just fucking exhausting. Whereas I don't feel I have to do that everywhere else.
Do you think that if you were ever, like, for want of a better, for a particular reason, say you had to live, you had no choice but to live in London, how much you would get used to that the kind of performance would...
I'd stop it.
Yeah.
You
just couldn't sustain it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I'd get used to it by switching off any sense of politesse, which would make me sad.
It's quite what you're just talking about there is quite an interesting phenomenon, isn't it? That the getting by trumps all other kinds of normal kind of sort of, I guess, social etiquettes or something like that.
Yeah.
In that context you're just talking about.
Yeah, and I want to be really clear. That's not me saying
not dissing
London's
London.
a rubbish place. No, it's just it's a bit like the gradations of alienness that you talked about. So feeling really at home in New Zealand, I probably feel of the places that I go to regularly, I probably feel the most alien in London, and I've always felt way more than Lisbon. Oh my God, way more. Lisbon is very much my pace.
In Lisbon, are there times at which, and I guess I'm thinking because of language, in which you feel your forgive me, otherness?
Are there times when I feel my otherness in Lisbon?
Yeah.
Is that the question?
Where it doesn't kind of, where it's not quite so smooth.
I mean, all the time, but I think I don't feel smooth in lots of places. I don't feel smooth in Totnes. I don't feel... There's lots of things that I rub against anyway, so it's always I think it's interesting. You say you feel so at ease in New Zealand because you understand everything.
Yeah, and it's also much less kind of, I should say, it's not like, oh, I understand things here. It's kind of just seeps into me. Like it's really like, yeah, oh, wow, what's this? Oh, I get this,
I think I don't have that sense anywhere in the UK where everything is completely makes sense. Because I'm not talking about behaviours, am I? I'm talking about recognizing myself in a place.
Yes.
But I also think that also does impact about how people behave in this. Anyway, the sort of the upshot is, I always feel a little bit like, maybe I didn't quite get the nuance there, in a really way that doesn't. That's not like a wow, poor me. It's just like there's bits and pieces that I miss the nuance of. So it's interesting to hear you sort of have that sense of ease. I love that for you.
I should say that I'm also staying in a house that I've been visiting since 1975. So that's it's as close to a family home as I have now, because
whose home are you in?
I'm in my aunt and uncle's. And they've lived here since 1975, so that's
hence you visiting since
50 years, is it?
51 now.
51, yeah, exactly.
2026. Yeah.
So
wow.
So I think that it's hard to delineate or separate that kind of I know this place from, but it is more than that, because of just we bumped into, I guess, a sort of cousin-in-law. I don't think we say that, but just a cousin. Didn't bump into. We went and visited them yesterday, and he's from a very different part of the country, and a very different kind of way of speaking. And but there's even in that, I went, oh yeah, I get this person. I've met these people before, kind of thing.
Does that make you have a sense of longing, or does it make you just measure your distance differently?
I was thinking about this yesterday, and I think it does a little bit, a sense of longing. I think that's a nice way of putting it, because I haven't probably read about, sort of theoretically, you might say, about concepts of home, and for all its good and its bad sort of notions of home, but it's probably the best word to convey what I'm talking about. Of I feel home, and that's quite a strong. It's quite a strong sensation. Like emotionally, it's quite something, quite something. It doesn't mean for a second that I think I could live here.
No, I totally understand that.
Yeah, it's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, of course I could, but...
Well, of course, yeah. But what you mean is it's that strong sense of home is not... There's not a pull, there's not a magnet that is pulling you back. It's just there is something which is in your bones familiar.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean... it's not so difficult, especially jet lagged. It's not so difficult to kind of let your imagination run off and go, oh, you know what? Not that I could afford to buy a house here.
Well,
live in a tent.
Sorry, middle-aged question. Are property prices very high in New Zealand?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
Do we have
pretty hard for young people?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of foreign investment, which has been encouraged over different governments for a long period of time, and then lots of in any situation where you have the divide, that sort of K-shaped economy, as they call it. A K-shaped economy is if you take a look at the two arms of the K, one's going up steeply and the other one's going down steeply. That's effectively that things are getting expensive and are able to be bought by a certain group of people, and then everyone else is going in the other direction. So the divide between the wealthy and the poor is getting bigger and bigger, and that's definitely happening here. So you've got the strata between those who have and those who haven't is getting bigger.
Oh, the inequality is just such a fucking...
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, it's just awful, isn't it? And it's, I think, when you're global, which you are, recognising that inequality is so deeply contextual, that you are, you can be at the relative top of the tree in some areas and then kind of towards the bottom somewhere else. It's like that sense of like where you will be in Sassari will be different to where you would be in New Zealand or in Auckland. It's really interesting, isn't it, to just think about that.
And the way it kind of paints your values, I guess, or. Yeah, and because in a way, when I live here, of course, I'm tending to occupy a kind of part of the, I guess, socioeconomic stratum, which is higher, just because of the people I went to school with and all that sort of stuff. The kinds of jobs, professional jobs that people had, and they had them a long time ago when things were a lot cheaper, and so I'm with the haves.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not. Well, you have to be careful. It's
no,
just
that's
something.
No. I understand what you're saying, because if you were to drop yourself back into New Zealand, you wouldn't be with the haves in quite the same way.
Oh, it would be very different. Yeah, exactly.
And then that sense of, and that's what I was thinking about, that notion of the kind of the global citizen. It's like, well, okay, I can't afford to live here anymore, so I'll decamp to there, or my pension will go so much further if I move to this place. And of course, all we're doing is inflating the problem, or inflating's the wrong word, but we're inflating house prices by saying, oh, well, I can afford that because compared to there, it's not so much, and.
Exactly, and the sort of personal livability, isn't it? Really,
yeah.
And
we talked about that idea that we're not tourists. We're not traffic. We're not in traffic. We are traffic. It's the same.
Exactly, and
it's the same thing.
That's very clear that I'm very much part of that kind of the tremendous privilege of being able to go, no, I'm going to live there. Yeah, there's a choice to get on a very expensive flight and spend a long time in the dark with headphones on and watching movies. I have to say though, I can recommend to you and to all our listeners doing yoga by a pool and then just falling into the pool after you've finished yoga.
Spoken as somebody who has.
Yeah, quite a bit in the last few days.
I'd love to be able to go, oh, I've no idea what you're talking about. You're so fucking privileged, and recognise that that's pretty much, that spoke to Summers at my folks' place in Portugal. And I think they would probably argue, well, but we're definitely not the haves. But speaking of my folks, they were up in Lisbon 2 days ago. So we've just crossed over with them. You? No, because we arrived today and they went back to Gravão yesterday. My mum was up. She had some hospital appointments to attend. All is fine, just usual.
Did they stay at your place?
Here's the joy. I said, do you want to stay at mine? My mum went, no, you can book me a hotel. I said, what's wrong with my flat? She said, ugh, it's the wrong side of town.
She said it's the wrong side of the tracks, didn't she?
I had a moment of feeling quite attacked. It was like, what are you saying? It's the wrong side of town. And of course, what she meant was literally, it was on the wrong side of town to the hospital.
For the hospital.
And she wanted to be able to go to the hospital with ease. So we booked her into a hotel, like a 5-minute walk from the hospital. And she was delighted. And then she said, can I have an extra night? Like, yeah, you can. Of course you can. So she had 2 nights. And
wow, she's cashing in her chips, isn't she?
Yeah, I know. She's been a cheeky sod. But she did have a lovely time. That's in parentheses. But that sense, I think, of home that you raise is so interesting to me, because, and I think this is, I'm going to be really interested in asking you this again in 5 years' time. But for me, home has always been so deeply rooted in buildings.
Yeah, I think I'd probably make a distinction. I mean, I totally understand. Well, I'll just say I understand. I don't know what the totally does there, but I think I would make a distinction between, I mean, it's not quite right, but like between a sort of state feeling of being home and a trait feeling of being home. And what I'm talking about here is much more about sort of trait of being at home. It's something very deep, kind of almost, I mean, not genetically, but culturally, incredibly deep, which is very different from, I think, the feeling of the building of a place together or apart or whatever, you know, and becoming used to and habituated to, and starting to recognise the, you know, the kind of rhythms and all the things that become a part of you. So there's something which, I think I'm not quite sure that's the right distinction, but I think you might get what I mean.
I do get what you mean, and I think it's because we're talking from two very different places, aren't we? I mean, literally, because you're in Auckland and I'm in Lisbon, but you've moved from New Zealand to Australia to the UK to Italy. I mean, I know you might query the moved to Italy, but
it's true.
It's a slow move, but it's
it's true.
And so you've got that kind of really lived sense of being in a landmass and the behaviours and the differences. Whereas I think I've only ever moved, for the most part, with the exception obviously of here in Lisbon, I've only moved within the UK, and it's like shades. It's shades of grey.
Like 50 Shades of Grey.
With less bum smacking, but just 3 shades of grey. But it's that sense that you're moving across things that are similar. But then the UK does a really good job of regionality and making people feel less than and more than, and this is a better place and that is a worse. We're really fucking good at that. I mean, London,
very
to go
good
back
at the
to
striations of sort of class.
Oh my God, they can do it street to street, can't they? In London.
Yep.
Which I mean, halfway down a street and you're like, oh my God, these are different worlds. It's fascinating. Anyway, maybe it's not that fascinating to people listening.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. It's the thing that's, it really hit me being here, and it's, because the last time I was here, 2 things were very different. I flew into a hotel for 2 weeks because I was in quarantine.
Oh my God, of course!
And the other thing that happened was that my mother was still alive. So it's the first time I've come here without any parents, as sort of that anchor of my mother living here. So yet I still feel that. That's what I guess I'm saying, is the sort of there's home and there's home.
There's home and there's home. Yeah. Oh, I hadn't remember. Well, of course I knew the last time you were there, and in fact we were talking throughout that period of time. You were talking
showing
to
off
us from the
food
hotel room
that got delivered to me.
Exactly. And then you were so generous, and you talked us through your mum's last days. It was
That's right.
Sweetheart.
Well, this is totally boring, but God, jet lag's a pain in the ass. But yeah, it's really, really nice to be here in a very different rhythm and a very different time of year and all those things. It's very special. So yeah, I'm excited to spend a couple of weeks here or 2 or 3 weeks here and get into it. Get into it, as they say.
Are you having to manage your work life at the same time, or are you fully off?
Yeah,
I am. Taking time away?
No, I'm, which is, so lots of early morning stuff and lots of late night stuff, really. So, I've got things I just have to do, so it's a bit,
yeah. Okay.
Amazing, doesn't take me too long to sit in front of a computer and then want to fall asleep. But yesterday I went to a local library, and it was interesting because there was quite a large Chinese community in the library, and they had a choir and singing curiously in Chinese Edelweiss, and I think if that's the way.
Wow, that is some bizarre.
There's a lot of collisions going on there for me.
Right there.
It was very odd.
So
and,
a Chinese
I loved that they were there, but
song,
it was of course
a Chinese version of a song about an Austrian flower written by an American duo. Fucking hell! All right, that's some backflips.
Yeah, but also sung in a library. So clearly, libraries they're basically community centres. I think that's what they've become.
Well, I mean, we were talking the other day. I don't know if it made it into the podcast, but we were talking about the lack of third spaces, weren't we?
Exactly. And that's what they've sort of modified it into. There was a young boy next to me being tutored for school, and it was pretty hard for him, I have to say. He couldn't, He didn't have very good headphones on his ears, blocking out Edelweiss.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to let you. I'm going to let you gently ease your way into your day.
Yeah, and I'm going to let you ease your way into the good night.
I'm. I will. I won't go gently though because I've got a dinner booked. So I'm going to have a quick shower, pop on a pair of trousers and a shirt, and take my girlfriend down the hill for some tea or dinner.
Have a lovely evening, and lovely to hear your voice.
Oh, it's always lovely to hear your voice. Weirdly, even though we don't see each other often, because you're on the other side of the world, I miss you.
Oh, it's different.
Isn't that odd?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels a bit different.
It's true. If you were to die in a car crash tomorrow, I wouldn't probably make it to your funeral.
I'm unlikely because I'm not planning on being in a car tomorrow. I might die in a bus crash or a metro crash. There might be other things that kill me.
I thought that was
but
safe
I won't be in a
grounds.
car. Yeah. Thank you very much for not wishing that onto me.
Oh, definitely not. But I'll. But if you do, I'll try. I'll do my best.
Okay. Well, nah, don't stress it.
See ya.
Take care. Bye.